Hey guys, welcome back. It's your girl Toya T, and this is time for the wind down of Insecure's Season 2, Episode 4, Hella LA. Cheers. Anyway, so this episode is a little bit different than the ones we had before. We start to see, as I said, that the last one was hella open. So now I think Issa and Lawrence are both now open to the dating scene in LA since their breakup. And with Issa and Kelly and Molly, and they're going out to this actual real event that happens in LA called Kiss and Grind. It seems like a dating networking event for young black and brown professionals in the LA area, which looks like something that I definitely would love to go to, and especially since I was in LA all of a few weeks ago, like 3-4 weeks ago, I was in LA. That would have been great to have gone to, but we do see this event. We start off seeing Issa's come into Molly's, and Molly and Kelly are already there. Molly's not ready yet, and we kind of catch up, and we find out that Issa's actually meeting a date at the Kiss and Grind, a guy that she met off of, I'm gonna guess Tinder. Let's just say Tinder, or Tinder-like app. And she shows him to Kelly, and she's like, he's fine. And he got like a real sophisticated name too, like Felix. And so Kelly's like the cat, and so she keeps calling him the cat, Felix the cat, which I think is absolutely hilarious and something that I would say to a friend if they told me they were meeting a guy named Felix. Like, I would harp on that the entire time. That's just the kind of person I am, drinks or no drinks. So that's cool. We see Molly trying to get dressed. She said that she's coming there to party. So we see a different side of Molly that's not on the hunt for a man. We don't unfortunately see Lionel come back. So she really did ghost him, curve him to the side, say, I don't want that. So she's ready just to have fun. And Issa's ready to add a new dude to her fuck schedule, or the fuck rotation. And Kelly's just Kelly. Kelly was really lit. She's like, I've been drinking as I've been waiting, and I've been waiting a long time. So anyway, so they get over to Kiss and Grind, and it is kind of like cool. Like, Kelly has a table. It's way out in the back. It's not even on the dance floor. And we see a couple things happening here. So let's just talk about the different things. So one, Molly's friend Dro is there, and I did mention it in the last review. Molly goes to a cupcake shop where she meets with her old childhood friend Dro and his wife, and she kind of starts to think differently about relationship goals because she sees that their relationship is so easy and fun and loving, and she wants that too, and she sees them as like relationship goals, but she sees him there by himself. He says his wife is off at some kind of wellness retreat, and he's there with his boys, and he says, like, we have a table, it's like way over there, we got chicken wings. And Molly's like, you know, kind of doing that homegirl, like, yeah, she's like real comfortable with him. And I kind of was really getting uncomfortable because I felt like, I don't know where this was going. Like, you can say hi to him. He did have food, so I probably would have ran over to his table too, because Kelly's table, he had no food, just Prosecco, which I love Prosecco, but I mean, I like wings too, so. But as we see as the episode goes on, is that there's like a real flirtation going on between Dro and Molly. You know, they're laughing and joking about the old days in high school, and then they're like, you know, bumping and grinding. And of course that, you know, that for me, I was in college when this song came out, but Slow Motion comes on. It's Juvenile, I think, and oh my gosh, I cannot. Soldier Slim, right? I think so. Yeah. And so, you know, slow motion. I don't get flagged for copyright, so I'll stop there. But, you know, you gotta look it up. You know, song really makes you want to grind. So they start grinding on each other, but not really like, air grinding. He gets up behind her, and he's like, you know, grinding up on her booty, and she's like, wait a second, this is getting a little bit too close. Like Next said, baby, when we grinding, I get so excited. Ooh, you know I like it. I try, but I can't fight it. Oh, we dancing real close and real slow. You making it hard for me. And that's all I could hear. I was like, ooh, Molly, this is how you end up fucking one of your friends' husbands. Now, like, I've done that, but I can see that's, you know, that's why I keep my distance from my friends' husbands. We can, you know, we can dance like this. We can dance like this. We can dance like this. But we ain't, you know, popping it and grinding. No, 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 no. Gotta keep the lines very clear, because you only say that stuff for people that you flirting with, and Molly was definitely flirting and Dro was really throwing it. And so she's like, oh, we gotta show, stop, calm down. And he's like, no. She's like, what would your wife think about this? And he's like, we actually have an open marriage. I don't know, like Molly was like a bit intrigued and like, oh no, I can't do that, like, that's just so wrong. But you can see the wheels turning in her head like, this is an interesting option. I think I want to learn a little bit more. And as the saying says, curiosity kills the cat. Trust me, I think it's going to happen in this sense. I think that even if they do have a open marriage, Dro and his wife, that she may not be too comfortable about her husband like having sex with a friend of his or someone that they know. Like, it's different when you have a stranger because you feel like you can make more boundaries, but someone that you know intimately, that you're friends with, that you actually have some kind of relationship and feelings for, I think that's where it starts to cross the line and things can get a little bit blurry, because they do have a good camaraderie with each other because they know each other for so long. And once you add sex in there and a marriage and a wife that you know, it will get messy. So I hope that Molly doesn't go down that road. But it looks like towards the end of the episode that she's thinking about it, that she's texting with Dro and he's like, oh, what you doing after, kiss and grind, and after you go eat out with your friends, and do you want some company? And she almost says yes, but she says no for now. So we'll see how that works out, but I think it's gonna be a problem. All right, going on to Issa. Now Issa is supposed to meet this guy Felix, but while she's waiting for him, who does she see across the dance floor but Daniel? And he was looking good too. I'm sorry. If I had seen Daniel, I would have walked right over there. Maybe after talking to my friends for a bit, texting with some people, trying to figure out the best way after chucking down maybe 2 of these if he didn't see me first. Or just try to like dance my way over there so that he see me and want to tap me on the shoulder or something, or I bump into him. But she sees him. She's definitely a little bit like thrown off, like, oh damn, I haven't seen Daniel in months since that whole situation when he showed up to her work event and pretty much outed their sexual romp to Lawrence and caused her whole breakup. And so, well, not really caused it, but led to her breakup. She sees him, she goes up to say hi to him. She's hella awkward, of course, saying that, oh yeah, do you come here? I love the DJ. And he's like, the DJ. She's like, I really like him. And he's like, the DJ is a girl. And she's like, yeah, I think I marched with her at the Women's March. And you already see like it's tense, and he's just not paying her no mind. He's focused. He's like, okay, whatever, I'll see you. Eventually Issa does meet up with Felix. He ends up curving her. I don't know if has this ever happened to anybody. I mean, like, I appreciate Felix's honesty, but I've never had a guy just be so blatantly, let me take that back. Let me take that back. I did have an experience like that, but at least he paid for dinner. But he comes up to her and they say hi. He's like, oh, is your hair's different than it was in your profile picture? And she's like, yeah, I changed it. He's like, do you ever change it back? And she's like, maybe sometimes. And he's like, your voice, is it always like that? Or somehow I imagine. And he just seems so picky and weird. And I'm like, dude, this is why you single. Not why I'm single, but why you single. So I do know that that kind of stuff does happen. It did happen to me. So Felix is out. He curved her. He pretty much walked away. So, oh, I see some friends over there. I'm going to leave. And he did it. The sad thing is, like, it'd be okay if he curved or whatever. It happens. You met on a Tinder app. Just where I met this same dude that did that shit, that said that same random shit to me. But it happened in front of Daniel. He saw the whole thing. The whole thing. And saw her face drop, saw the dude walk off. And so that was just like really hella embarrassing. And I just hate that that happened to her. But I love that they put those moments in there where you can see that the main character does not have it all together. She's beautiful. She is, smart and funny and has all these great qualities and is still flawed, just imperfectly perfect. I just love it. I just like, she doesn't have it all together. She's not the Kerry Washington with the bag and the, the killer code and the, you the president, come over here, boom, get down there, service me, then I'm gonna get a job. Like, it's not like that. It is really like her trying to figure things out, and I love that. Especially as a 30-something, I love to see this on camera. Okay, let me just segue into Lawrence a little bit, because after this I will talk about what happened after they left Kiss and Grind and went to the eating spot, you know, after the club eating spot. And which will get kind of interesting. And so for Lawrence, his whole storyline is that he's in his new apartment. He's, you know, now in full open, like, I'm ready to, you know, he's embracing the whole fuck nigga. He's embracing that whole fuckboy persona. He's like, yeah, I look good, I work out, look at my chest, you know, I'm about to go out, go fuck with these bitches, you know, get some hoes and all this stuff, and, you know, get it popping. And it seems like they were he was gonna go to Kiss and Grind too, and I thought he was gonna run into Issa. But what happened was, unlike Issa, Lawrence didn't realize that there was gonna be a LA City bike ride that was going to block off many streets. So he was on his way to go to the club with Chad. You gotta love Chad. Chad and his fast talking, like, yeah, you ever been to Chipotle? You ever had them tofu bowls? It's kind of cool though. But anyway, I see you out here trying to get in. Like, oh yeah, finally my boy trying to go out, trying to get it in. I'm gonna get my weed man to come, and you know, we gonna get good. It's like so ridiculous. So they end up, well, he ends up trying to go there. He gets stuck in traffic. There's like the streets blocked off. He sees a couple cars making a U-turn, and he tries to make that U-turn too. And of course, he gets pulled over by the cops. Lawrence drives a Jaguar. And so they pull him over. It gets real tense. I'm like, oh, I'm getting really uncomfortable. I don't know where this is going. Lawrence, you know, keep it cool, keep it cool. And he's like really cool with the officers. They're like, oh, you know, you made that illegal U-turn. Are you in a rush? And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm not in a rush. I'm not like trying to get anywhere. I'm just trying to go to the grocery store. And he gives him his license. And they're like, is this your car? He's like, yes, my car. And, you know, it's really tense. They give him back his license and his registration and say, you know, I'm going to let you off with a warning. Although maybe I shouldn't. I should give you a ticket because you're a Hoya. And Lawrence is like, what? What is that? Is that the new thug, like the new nigga? What is he doing? And it turns out he's talking about the fact that Lawrence went to Georgetown, and he's a Georgetown Goya, and the guy, the police officer, had graduated from Villanova. I don't follow school rivalries and stuff, so apparently Villanova and Georgetown are rivals, and Villanova beat them, I guess, in football. One of them sports, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, something. And so he lets him go, and Lawrence is like, yeah, you beat us real bad. So he's already having a problem there. During this stop, which I noticed immediately, when he opened up his wallet, all his cards fell out of his wallet. I noticed this because this happens to me all the time when I'm trying to get like my license, or when I'm out of my wallet and I turn it a certain way and all my cards kind of fall out. My extra cards fall out of my wallet. But this turned out to be all of his major cards. So when he got to the grocery store, because he was going there to go get some beers and some drinks for a pregame before they went to the club, he actually did not have his credit card to buy the drinks. So he's at the supermarket. He's embarrassed. He's like, oh man, I gotta go home. And I'm like, Lawrence, go in your car. The cards are in the car. The cards are in the car. But he was so rattled by that whole police incident that he just didn't think of that. There was two white girls behind him that offered to pay for his drinks. And he's like, no. It's like, nah, we'll pay for it. What is it, like $15? Like, the lady's like, it's $42. And they're like, it's cool, whatever. So they buy it for him. He walks off. He's like, cool, thank you. And in the parking lot, they're like, oh, so where you going with them drinks? You pre-gaming or something? He's like, oh, I'm supposed to meet up with my boys. And he's like, what y'all doing? He's like, we just gonna hang out, you know, at the house, and then, you know, chill, and then maybe go to, you know, do this. And they are really flirting with him. And he's like, you know, you should come through. And so he decides to curve Chad and his friends, and decides to go hang out with these two ladies. I'm gonna call them Thought 1 and Thought 2. Actually, fuck it. I mean, maybe they're not thoughts. They're really not thoughts. They're liberated women. They're adventurous sexual explorers. I'll call them sexual explorer number 1 and number 2. Or maybe immature porn star number 1, immature porn star number 2. I fuck my friends 1 and 2. Those kind of girls. So he's over there. They're rolling up some weed. They're drinking. They're playing The Weeknd. And the other girl's like, do you like The Weeknd? And he's like, huh? And then So one of the girls kisses him, and then the other one's watching, and she comes over and starts kissing the other girl, and then they kiss him, and they have a three-way kiss. And I'm like, oh shit, this thing is about to turn into like some Mandingo porn. And of course it did. The next thing we see, we got Lawrence fucking one of the bitches. We got Lawrence fucking one of the sexual explorers, slash immature porn star slash liberated lady, and eating out the other one. Wow, you know, he's just getting it in, living the life. And the girl's like, yes, fuck me with your black dick, fuck me with your... I was like, oh, and he gets a little bit thrown off, like, oh my gosh, what am I in? I was like, Mandingo porn, this is what you in, Lawrence. Something about to happen. Something about to happen. And so he continues, she comes, he comes, and then the other girl's like, well, I want my turn too. And then he's like, okay, cool. Of course he's not ready for it, because Lawrence has not had sexual escapades like this, obviously. I mean, he is the one that thought that the stripper from last season was really interested in him when she was really doing her job, in making him think that she liked him so she can get him to pay her for services. And so he didn't realize that he shouldn't have come when he was with the other chick. And so his penis was not ready for the second chick. And she's like, why did you come then? Like, this fucking sucks. And she gets off, and they are so, like, they're carving him in his face. Like, oh, remember when we fucked Lamar? That was so much better. That was a wild night, girl. Like, oh, and we went to this chicken spot, and we should go there, or we should get some Postmates. And is it too late? And we should go try to do this, and then we can make it to that party. And they're having this full conversation while Lawrence is naked on the bed. They're getting dressed and ready to leave his ass, making him feel like a damn fool. But of course, when he calls Chad, talks to Chad, he's catching him up, and Chad's like, oh man, like, you were fucking two bitches, like, oh my gosh, you must have been amazing. And Lawrence is trying to put on airs, like, yeah, it was good, you know, I was the man, yeah, I had two of them, I wore them out, I'm tired, yeah, I'm just gonna go home. And Chad is having this full-on conversation in front of one of the bathroom attendants, who's looking at him like, this nigga. Damn, what's wrong with these young folks? That's why I'm saying this older black man that was the bathroom attendant, as he's having this conversation and, like, you know, picking up the mints and stuff. And Lawrence is really like fronting and saying like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. He gets off the phone with Chad, and he's in his car. I forgot to mention this. And when we pan out, we see that he was actually in front of his old apartment with Issa. And I actually thought that he was in front of Tasha's house. I said, Nick, you better not be in front of Tasha's house, because if you are, she should come out and fucking kick you in your balls. Like, she just kick you in your balls. Like, kick you in your balls, and then get her brothers or her cousins to come and kick your ass for coming up there. And so let's go back to Issa. So after the club, after Kiss and Grind, Kelly, Molly, and Issa ended up going to this food spot that apparently one of the guys that Kelly met at the club is there with his friends, and he has a table already. So they're going over there, and they're, you know, chatting up his friends. And, you know, Molly and Issa are chatting up his friends. And Issa looks over, and of course Daniel is like stalking her. Daniel is also at the food spot at the table across from them. So they're like, you know, directly across from each other. So they're looking at each other, and he's looking at her, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. He saw me get friggin' played. He saw me get curved, and then now I have to be across from him. And so the funniest part about this scene is that Kelly is sitting next to the boo that she met, and they're flirting and stuff. And then all of a sudden, they're like talking. They're like, you know, flirting and talking, like, oh, what would you cook for me? And he was like, you know, anything you want. And then she's like, she stops talking, and I'm thinking the girl's having a seizure until I realize that the dude is looking at her, and she's like, yeah, that food be real good. And I was like, oh my gosh, the dude is fingering her under the table at this food spot. This is why you gotta wash your hands and wash the seats when you go to kind of spots like that. We got spots like that too, you know, after you go to the hood spots, local hood spots to get some food, after you go to the club. And yeah, that's why you gotta wash some things. Now you gotta wash yourself down after that, because somebody could have been fingered in that booth that you sitting at, like Kelly was, by her little club boo. And so Issa's sitting there, she doesn't know what the hell's going on with Kelly. She's thinking, I think that like me, she's thinking that she's having a seizure. And Daniel can fully see what is going on under the table, which is even worse. Don't be doing that stuff if you ain't got a table that got like, I don't know, like a tablecloth to cover that shit. So he can see the dude like fingering her underneath the table, and he's like, holy shit. And he says like, what? And he texts her and says that your girl getting fingered at the table. And Issa is just so uncomfortable. She got her food there. She's like, I don't know what to do. And Daniel laughs, and so she picks up her plate and she goes and sits next to him, and they talk and seem to be reconnecting, and they're both laughing. That's that. That's all for the episode. What did you guys think about this episode? Did you like it? I thought it was a little different. I mean, it was a bit slow for me. I actually didn't watch it a second time. I usually watch it 2 times before I do these review and recaps. But this one just felt like it was easier to kind of go off of because there was a different type of vibe. I like that they have different writers and different directors each episode, and so this was definitely a step out the box, but it really, I felt, encompassed. Like, I'm not from LA, but I lived in Southern California. I told you I was just in LA, and it really does kind of, I feel like an LA vibe. Like, some things, like that whole Lawrence having a random threesome with some chicks that he met at a grocery store. I feel like that would happen in California. Like, I feel like that's not a New York thing. That's a Cali feel. I feel like New York, you'd end up going to some like random orgy party in the village or something. But California's like, yeah, you know, it's cool. Let's, you know, like hang out. And I'm being really stereotypical about Los Angeles and California. But it's just like really that laid back vibe. And plus for the fact that, you know, the porn industry is, you know, based in California, in Southern California, and so in the Valley actually, and so that's why I kept calling them amateur porn stars, because they could be. You don't ever know. Those girls might be making some, you know, some porn, some amateur porn, some watch me on my video cam porns on the weekends to make money while they pick up random dudes to fuck. I mean, they might have been taping freaking Lawrence. We don't even know. If that pops up, I think that'd be really funny. But hopefully he doesn't get herpes, because that's also what that situation is a recipe for getting the clap, herpes, syphilis, really syphilis, and a rape accusation. And so I hope that turns out well for him. Anyway, that's it for my wind down of this episode. Let me know what you guys thought. I hope you had your glass of wine like I did. This one right here is much better than the beer that I had the last review. This is my grapefruit rosé. My kind of drink. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Kiss and grind.